Hey, what's up? This is Khaliq Glover, also known as Khaliq-O-Vision, and I am the founder of the Music Mixing Success Bootcamp, okay? And it's coming up real quick, a few days to go now. We're right around the corner. So what I wanted to do right now is I've got something special for you. We have Mike Sr. as one of the guest trainers and presenters on the bootcamp this year. And he was in Germany, so we already pre-recorded his interview, and I'm going to pipe it in during the boot camp. But I wanted to give you a taste because we had a really good session and everything. So I got a short video. It's less than 10 minutes. So do me a favor, take a little bit of your time today and watch this video. I think you'll learn a lot. And I hope to see you on the Music Mixing Success Bootcamp. Check it out. I was basically asking, at a time when you could have stopped from all the great information you did with Sound on Sound and all that, you extended it even further with your site. So, you know, why did you do that? What was your motivation, and why help everybody out there?
Well, I mean, there are various different elements to that question. The first thing to say is that right from the outset at Sound on Sound, I was very, very keen that the magazine should illustrate things with audio examples. Because up to the time when I arrived, they had done very, very, very few audio examples. And I asked the question of them, well, why should the readers believe what you're saying? Unless the writer has a list of Grammy Awards as long as their arm, and a lot of great engineers don't, why should they, where are the credits? And if they don't have the credits, then they need to hear something that tells them that what you are proposing, or what you're suggesting to them, is a good idea.
Right.
And so I pushed very, very hard for audio examples. And in fact, Mix Rescue was a response to that. I said, well, if we're telling people how to mix, let's give them audio example. So they can look at the mix and say, do I like the sound of that? And if they do, then they can listen to what we said, and it'll be something concrete. And so when I then ended up writing a mixing book, I felt that I had to apply the same kind of discipline to myself in doing that. And so then that's what gave the audio examples on the resources site with the book, was that I felt, well, if I've said something, I should have some audio examples to back it up, to illustrate it. Unfortunately, because I've done like 50 mix rescues or something, I was able to pull lots of audio examples that I had done out of my archives that illustrated different things that I'd done for the magazine, and then add extra things to those to fill out the whole book resources. So that, in answer to your first question, the reason I did the original resources site was so that I could feel that I'd backed up what I'd said in the book. That I could say, well, listen to it. If you don't believe me, listen to it.
Right.
And if you hear something you don't like, then don't believe me. It works both ways. But then on the other side, in terms of why to keep extending these resources and keep providing this information, it's really because one of the big reasons was actually when I first moved to Cambridge, I covered a year's sabbatical for a teacher of music technology. In the UK, they have a music technology like high school course. And when I did that, I was like, well, we need stuff to practice. You can't learn mixing unless you practice. And there was nothing. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that no one had provided any kind of study materials like this. And because I had lots of people who owed me a favor, basically, because I rescued their mixes, I emailed all my mix rescue people and said, look, can I post your multi-tracks? You know, the stuff is effectively public domain anyway, because all the mix, the mix itself and the audio examples are all on the site.
Right.
And, you know, they're all really nice people. And so they said, yeah, cool, great, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I just had such a response to it. Not only, well, yeah, we really need this stuff, but also, well, it would be great to have some bluegrass, or it would be great to have some EDM, or it'd be great to have, and you know, it really expanded from there. People kind of then in recent years, people have just started contacting me. They'll say, well, actually, we really like what you're doing. We would love now to hear people mixing our multi-tracks.
Yeah. I think
you know,
it's a smart thing,
a little kind of forum thing that I now run alongside the multi-tracks where people can post their mixes. And some people have come back, you know, some of the Mix Rescue people. In fact, I had a mail from a Mix Rescue person just today where he came back and listened to all the mixes, and he was so impressed with, like, the 50 mixes that he'd had he said, you know, here are some more multi-tracks. Please post some more. I want to hear what they do with this other material.
Right.
So it all kind of feeds into itself. And now, obviously, with the next book as well, that I wanted to support with audio examples as well. And yeah, it's all kind of slowly, it just adds to itself. You keep adding something, and then it slowly creates this massive material.
Quick question for you then. What are the standouts that you heard on, and before we wrap it up and everything, I want to definitely show people the site, but I know there's probably a couple of standouts that you think, oh my God, this is awesome here. Everybody needs to grab this one and work with it because it's just awesome. Is there anything on there that you want to point people to that stood out to you?
One thing I would say is check out the Telefunken multi-tracks.
Yeah. They've got some great stuff.
Telefunken have been doing a whole bunch of stuff, basically showcasing the microphones, but with really good musicians, and of course the Telefunken microphones, which are great. And they have a whole bunch of different styles, and you get lots of different mic choices for the different multi-tracks. So yeah, there are various of the Telefunken sessions that are listed in my listings, and they have more on their site that I'm still adding to our page. But those are really good. I would recommend looking into those. They're great fun.
Cool. Quick question for you. So what's the biggest challenge, in your opinion, that people seem to be facing when they're trying to get things kicked off in a music or mixing or engineering or anything? The name of the boot camp is the Music Mixing Success Boot Camp, and I key in on the word success because I really think what all we're doing, it all comes together now. I'm like yourself, I'm a musician, but engineer, producer, writer. So the success part is being able to tie a lot of things together. What's the success part to you? The part that's the biggest challenge that's keeping people from arriving at success?
I tend to see it mostly from a skills angle, because most of the things that people that people come to me with are problems that they have with the mix itself, rather than with the business aspect of setting themselves up as a mix engineer or making a career for themselves. And in that respect, I think probably the biggest single thing that I would recommend anyone do is get seriously into referencing your material. And it's such a simple thing to, go through your record collection and find tracks that you really like and compare your mixes against them. And it's something that I tell people, every workshop and seminar and thing that I do, I tell people this, and it's like, a good 2/3 of the people will put their hands up if I say, do you reference your mixes?
Yeah.
But usually the problem is that people don't really do it with enough discipline to really make it function. It is absolutely the thing that will teach you how to mix faster than anything else.